7 minutes, you can get up here, but I've had a student get up here 5 minutes flat, done. Don't be that guy or girl, okay, lady. Don't do it. You can do 7 minutes. Stretch it out. Make sure you practice in front of a mirror or a friend or something. Make sure that you've got our attention for at least a minimum of 7 minutes before we go into asking you questions. All right, so you can do it. Okay, it's not a speech class, but basically I'm looking for a lot of similar things as to what you'd have in a speech class. So if you've already had speech class, you're golden. You already know what you should do. If you haven't had speech class, I would hook up with somebody that has had speech class to get some pointers from. But this is how it's going to be graded. It's spelled out right here. That's the stuff I'm looking for. All right. Here are the topics for the essays and the presentation that you can do. If you want to go outside of that, that's fine. What I recommend, highly recommend, is you run it by me. I've had people that got up here and did something that they just assumed would be okay, and we had a problem. It is not appropriate, for example, to get up here and proselytize, and that's trying to persuade someone to your particular faith or religious belief system. This is not the platform for that. All right, I'm telling you up front. I've had somebody make that attempt, and I had to correct them on their inappropriateness. It's not the place. All right, so if you want to do a presentation on, we do get into basics of philosophy of religion, but as I say, I kind of term it as the God of philosophy is a generic God, okay, not a specific one, if that makes any sense to you. So we'll talk about philosophy of religion here in a few weeks, and you'll see what I'm saying. It's a very generalized kind of thing. It's not getting into particular faith groups. We touch on a few things, but it's not in depth. This is not a world religion course, so there are things that are appropriate for this platform, things that aren't. The exams, as I've already mentioned, are going to take up half, 500 points exams. You've got exam 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got a final exam that's going to be comprehensive. But I let you know up front that my comprehensive exam, I don't get real creative with old material. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're going to see some of the same things that you've seen before. You're just going to have a chance to redeem yourself because you messed up maybe on one test. Oh yeah, I know, I've seen that before, and you'll have another opportunity to pull that out. All right. So what I do on the final exam is you'll have 2 new chapters, and then that we haven't covered yet. That'll be on the final, and then all the rest of it will be material that you've already been familiar with. Okay. I will give you a study guide before the exams. I basically make sure that the study guide and the exam correspond to one another so that you are set up for success. It's your choice what you do with that. I make it available to you. I'm pretty consistent every semester. I change things up a bit. Obviously, I don't want any old exams floating around, things like that. But what I do is I give you the study guide, and if you can answer the questions on that study guide, you will be fine on the exam. If you can't answer the study guide, you will not do well on the exam. It's very simple. All right. Any questions about that? Okay. Academic integrity. Don't cheat, don't lie. How about that? If you have a disability, please let me know if you need any accommodation. There is a disability specialist on campus, and her name is Audrey Smelser. Audrey Smelser. And you need to get with her. She'll collaborate anything, but I'm more than willing to help somebody out if you have any kind of learning impairment or whatever. I work with people who have disabilities on a daily basis. That's what I do in my other life away from here. So it's something that I'm very familiar with. I've got a basic schedule. Some of this is not. It's not in concrete. The material that we cover is going to be, we'll cover it all. Sometimes a class, for example, if, I don't know why in the summer we'd have inclement weather, heaven forbid we have a tornado or something, but things like that happen, and they'll shut down campus for that day. Obviously we'll pick up where we left off. Sometimes we'll overlap a little bit, things like that. So this is a general tentative schedule of events, how the class is going to go. However, the exams, I really don't like to deviate from that. I like everybody to be well prepared and know exactly when an exam is coming up. So I make sure that we've covered the material far enough in advance and we're already into new material before I have an exam. That's typically the way I do things. And that way I have a buffer to make sure that the exam time does not change. So unless there's some unforeseen event, we should have the exams that are on the date. So you can plug that into your Yahoo calendar or whatever. I'm going to have an exam on this day. And unless something strange happens, which I would announce ahead of time, we will have them on that date. So June 8th is going to be your first exam, and that'll be on the first 2 chapters. Okay?